Forgive me, I'm a little out of breath. So my pump was leaking. The hydraulic pump was leaking fluid into the motor, and they said that the problem was this guy, and it's called a steel seal, something like that. And well, my real issue was, you see that guy in the middle? That was really out. It wasn't even in there. This is the new one, and that's in there. And whenever I took this apart, thanks to Hoppos and another guy, I can't think of his name, on YouTube, that explains all this, taking this out. And when I pulled it out, this popped out, and this thing on the inside was just, it fell out, like it wasn't even in. I tried to put it back in there and just completely, fucked that up. But this needed to be replaced. And what I think my problem was me. I filled up my tank with hydraulic fluid. I'm learning, guys. This is all brand new to me, so I'm making my mistakes early. And I filled it up way too much. I topped it off, and the car wasn't even low. It wasn't even down all the way. It was kind of up still. So I think that's the major factor in why this busted. And it was just too much pressure, and it pushed it through this. And I heard that this is the only reason why fluid gets into the motor, is through this guy. So if there's fluid in the motor, which mine was full, mine was leaking fluid like crazy, that means it's going through here, and that little piece on the inside is actually what keeps it from not leaking into the motor. And which makes sense, because this piece was out when I pulled this off. This little piece fell down. It wasn't even connected anymore. So, and I know I'm repeating myself, but what I thought was why that happened was because I filled it up too much, and the car wasn't down, and there was just a lot of fluid in there, and it needed to push it out. So anyways, I brought this upstairs to do this. Supposedly this goes in here, and I'm gonna put my phone down for this because I only bought one, and I'm supposed to use this to kind of go over and tap it in with this guy. So wish me luck. I'm gonna put all this together, put the pump back in, and wait for a day for me to get paid so I can buy some fluid. Put some fluid, because I'm that broke right now. Put some fluid in, hit the switch, and see if that works. It says 4 on here, and this says 5, so I don't know if that means anything, but the numbers are the same. AEO 330 PHLE. So okay, that's a good start. That looks like a nice start, sort of. Okay. I think that's it. Did a couple more times just to make sure. All right. apologize guys, it's nighttime, but this is when I get to really, Texas is hot. This is when I get to work on it. But that's where it's going, right there. And they gave me some new seals, but these look good, right? It was just that one which was the problem. And that little piece, when I pulled it out, that little piece fell down. And I'm like, okay, that's definitely not right. You know, it just fell down. It's supposed to be sitting in there. So anyways, I'm gonna put this back in there, put the bolts through here that connect it. And yeah, and this tank goes just fits right over. So, and I don't think I'm missing anything else. Yeah, those connect the tank to this. So I already took this out, and this is where all the fluid was seeping into, and it was, luckily there's little drain plugs, there's little holes on the other side, and it was just gushing out, right? Hopefully that didn't fuck up the motor, but it was doing that before I knew anything about it. So I was hitting switches with a motor full of oil. It's not good, but anyway, I'm learning guys, so don't beat me over the head with it, please. So all right, let's put this back together tonight, and then hopefully tomorrow or in a couple days I'll get some money, put some oil in. Well, I get paid, so I'm gonna get some money, so I will put some oil in and hope for the best. So it seems to be in there pretty snug. So I'm gonna clean out this tank because it rained a little bit, a little moisture in there, and then put the tank back on, kind of put it back on. And these are what connect the tank to that guy. A lot of other people have the really long ones and the plate on the back, which I don't have. You know, I'm not fancy like that, but that's what I got. So everything's in. Actually, what to me the hardest part was putting that tank back in. There, it wasn't like a slip. It didn't just slide on and suction cup. You know, I kind of had to use those bolts. I really had to get longer bolts because those barely caught. These bolts barely caught. Like if they was just like a ½ inch longer, it would have been so much easier, but they weren't, you know. And anyways, that's back in there. And I noticed that these solenoids, I looked online, these are the good brand, right? But when I went back here one day, I noticed that, you know, it's not acting as, it's not as crisp, and when I hit the switch, it didn't feel right? It felt kind of weak, and bad solenoids is what people say. Well, anyways, these were loose, right? The connections were loose, and I was like, fuck. So I tightened them up, and I noticed this right here was loose. He welded these nuts together. Now online they have one that's pretty thick and long from here to here, not a bunch of nuts like this, just one big large nut, right? And it looks more professional, and I can see why people go with that. And this, I hate to talk bad about the guy who did it, but it just looks like something slapped together, you know. Just welded those on. Anyways, it was loose. It was loosey goosey, and since it was loose, those threads were burnt up at the end. So I put another nut on here. I found a couple that I had, and I try to push it in as far as I could, so I can loosen it and push it back out to try to give these a better connection before I buy, before I get the part that I need, before I buy solenoids and the legit ones. So with the little spacers nuts, I don't know what the terms are called, so just forgive me when I'm speaking about a bunch of shit and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, you know. But anyways, it's all back together now. I just gotta put some fluid in there and hope for the best, man. See what happens. Eventually getting these solenoids with the legit. I think they're like 50 bucks online, 3 of them with the little nuts and stuff, all the little hardware. So anyways, it's 1 o'clock, about to take a shower and just enjoy my Monday night. So peace out. So I got my baby running again, and I filled up I replaced that seal, and I filled it up, topped it off with fluid, with hydraulic oil, and I have not seen any leaks, no leaks. And also, since I've updated those when I added those nuts in there and made the connections more tighter, it's starting to work like it did when I first got it. So look like I don't need to replace them, but I'm going to anyways. Give her a little car wash. I've been driving around just trying to charge up my batteries because it rained pretty hard the other day. I didn't have it driving for like a week. I haven't been driving around for a week, so just getting my batteries charged, and making my alternator charge up my batteries. So yeah, man, that's what it is. That's what it looks like right now at the time being. Thank you, Alex Hoppos, and there's this other guy. I think he lives in Cleveland, Ohio. White guy. He's very helpful. I'm sure you guys know him. Lowrider people, look up how-to videos. I wish I could give his name, because I don't know off the top of my head, but he was very super helpful. Those two guys helped me get my car back, hopping and juiced up and back on the streets playing again. So I'm very thankful for them. I'm thankful for the internet, and we back at it, man. We back at it. All right, guys. Peace out.